Why is it that when some people walk into a room, everyone turns to look, but when you enter the same room, nobody even notices? Why can one person speaking the same words change history, while another speaks into the void? Why can a single glance say more than 1,000 words? Tonight, we will unravel the secrets of an invisible force: charisma. Is it born with you, or is it manufactured in a laboratory? And most importantly, have you ever wondered when the charisma factory inside you shut down? After hearing the answers to these questions, the way you walk down the street will change. The way you look in the mirror will change, because charisma is not a gift others give you. It's an energy you produce within and radiate outward. And this energy has a formula. Tonight, we will decode that formula. If you want to open the doors of the charisma production facility within yourself to restart the rusted machines, don't forget to subscribe to the Abstract Concepts Factory channel. Because here, we don't explain ordinary concepts. We put their chemistry, their physics, their production processes under the microscope. Each video offers you a blueprint to rebuild yourself. Now, let's open the doors of the charisma factory. The first raw material: presence. Charisma requires a physical presence, but this isn't just being there, it's being there with every cell of your being. In 44 BC, when Julius Caesar entered the Senate, the decision to kill him had already been made before he even opened his mouth. But his entrance into that hall carried such energy that even the assassins hesitated for a moment. According to Suetonius's records, Caesar's walk, his posture, the way he held his head, all sent a message. That message was, "I am here, and this place is mine." Modern neuroscience confirms this. Body language is 7 times more powerful a communication tool than words. But here's the key. Body language is a reflection of your mind. The energy produced inside takes form outside. The second raw material: self-confidence. But be careful, not arrogance. Self-confidence is not needing to prove yourself. In the 1960s, John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon had the first televised presidential debate. Those who listened on the radio thought Nixon won, but those who watched on television chose Kennedy. Why? Kennedy's posture, his calmness, his smile, these were broadcasting a frequency, the "I'm here and I'm comfortable" frequency. Nixon was sweating, looking tense. The insecurity inside had surfaced outside. The third element: mystery. Charisma is not revealing everything. Why has the Mona Lisa's smile captivated people for 500 years? Because we don't know what she's thinking. Uncertainty activates the human brain. Leonardo da Vinci knew this. In charisma production, what you don't say is as important as what you do say. The fourth component: empathy. It may seem paradoxical. How can you be both mysterious and empathetic? This is the most complex part of the charisma factory. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. When he got out, he forgave those who imprisoned him. This forgiveness wasn't from weakness, it was tremendous strength. Mandela's charisma didn't come from his suffering, but from choosing to understand others despite the suffering. Empathy is what makes you human, and charisma is primarily a human phenomenon. So how does the charisma factory operate? The first production line: energy management. Charismatic people control their energy. When Steve Jobs took the stage at Apple launches, he wasn't just introducing a product, he was creating an experience. Notice how he used silence. He'd make a statement, stop, look. Those pauses were moments when energy concentrated. Energy management means timing, knowing when to speak, but equally knowing when to stay silent. The second production line: storytelling. Charisma spreads through your story. But everyone has a story, you say. True, but not everyone can tell their story. Cleopatra was one of history's most charismatic women. Ancient sources say she wasn't actually that beautiful, so where did her power come from? Plutarch writes, she enchanted with her voice, her speech, her presence. Cleopatra presented herself as a story. She arrived at her first meeting with Julius Caesar wrapped in a carpet. She appeared to Mark Antony on gold-plated ship, dressed as the goddess Isis. Was this theatrical? Yes, but charisma always involves performance, and good performance requires a good story. The fourth production line, consistency. Charisma is not an instant explosion, it's a continuous radiation. Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech was iconic, but King's charisma didn't come from that speech. It came from years of consistent struggle. Bombings, death threats, prisons, these didn't divert him from his path. People trust consistency, and trust is the fuel of the charisma factory. The fourth production line, existential authenticity. Charisma cannot be imitated. Muhammad Ali was the same outside the ring as he was inside it. He'd say, "I am the greatest." And when he said it, it was as if he was announcing a universal truth. Was this arrogance? Maybe, but it was authentic. Ali wasn't wearing a mask. Whatever was inside came out, and this raw honesty attracted people like a magnet. Now let's enter the most secret part of the charisma factory, the quality control room. True charisma is not manipulation. Making this distinction is critical. Was Adolf Hitler charismatic? Statistically, yes. He dragged millions behind him. But was this charisma or manipulation? Here's the difference. True charisma gives you power. False charisma takes power from you. Hitler used people's fears, their anger. He diminished them so he could appear great. This is a defective product of the charisma factory. Toxic, destructive, short-lived. True charisma elevates others. Think of Oprah Winfrey. Her charisma doesn't come from putting herself forward, but from making the person across from her visible. In her interviews, guests feel safe even in their most vulnerable moments. This is empathy-based charisma. And when you look at history, these are the kinds of charismas that last. Another important unit of the charisma factory, adaptation. Charismatic people are not chameleons, but they are flexible. Malcolm X showed different versions of himself in different periods of his life, from militant to peaceful, from angry to wise. In each evolution, he was producing a different charisma, because charisma is not static, it's dynamic. Life changes, you change, and your charisma formula changes too. And now, the final station of the charisma factory, legacy. True charisma lives on after you. That famous photograph of Che Guevara is still on t-shirts, posters, revolution movements years after his death. Charisma becomes an energy independent of your physical presence. Marilyn Monroe, Elvis Presley, Frida Kahlo, these are no longer people, they're archetypes. And these archetypes are the most refined products of the charisma factory. So how do you run your own charisma factory? First step, awareness. Right now, this second, how are you standing in the room? Are your shoulders slumped? Is your head tilted forward? Where are your eyes looking? Charisma begins with body awareness. Stand straight, but without tension. Be open, but without being vulnerable. Exist, but without forcing. Second step, value silence. In your next conversation, wait 3 seconds after each sentence. People will be uncomfortable, they'll want to fill the void. But you keep waiting, because in that void, you're growing. Your presence is intensifying. Third step, find your story, but throw away the cliches. I overcame difficulties, I succeeded, is everyone's story. You find the unique one. Maybe your story isn't finished yet. Maybe right now you're in the middle of the story. Then tell it. I'm on a journey and I don't know exactly where I'm going, but being on the road is more important than the destination. Fourth step, listen to people, but not just with your ears, with your whole being. When Barack Obama addressed a crowd, he gave the feeling as if he was talking to everyone one-on-one. How did he do this? Eye contact, pausing, reading people's reactions. Charisma is not a monologue, it's a dialogue.
Without your audience, you can be a broadcaster, but you can't be charismatic. Fifth step, own your mistakes. When Princess Diana broke royal protocols, when she shook hands with AIDS patients, think how much courage that required. And when she made mistakes, she apologized, openly, as a human. This wasn't weakness, it was strength, because perfection is cold. Imperfect perfection is relatable. There you have it, the charisma factory. Its raw materials are presence, self-confidence, mystery, and empathy. Its production process is energy management, storytelling, consistency, and authenticity. Its quality control is the manipulation test and legacy-creating capacity. And this factory is standing inside you. Maybe rusted, maybe half-closed, but it's there. Cleopatra knew it, Caesar knew it, Ali knew it, Diana knew it, and now you know it too. Charisma is not an innate gift, it's an art that is consciously produced, constantly refined, an alchemy, like turning lead into gold, transforming an ordinary being into an extraordinary one. When you wake up tomorrow morning, you'll look in the mirror, you'll see yourself in that face, but now something is different, because now you know that face is hiding a factory, a production facility, and the gears of that facility turn by your will. Caesar was alone when he entered the Senate, but he filled the room. Mandela was old when he emerged from the dungeon, but he reborn a nation. Jobs was alone on stage, but he hypnotized millions. These weren't superhumans, they were just people who ran their charisma factories at full capacity. Now it's your turn. Your factory's doors may be rusted, your machines may be worn out, but a single spark can restart everything, and that spark is awareness. As you read this text right now, did your sitting position change? Did your breathing deepen? Then the factory has already started working. Charisma is not mystery, it's science, not magic, but strategy, and most importantly, not privilege, but choice. Every day, every moment, you make a choice to shrink or to grow, to disappear or to exist, to fade or to shine. And the most beautiful secret of the universe is this: when you shine, you give light to others too. Charisma is not a zero-sum game. Your increase doesn't mean someone else's decrease. On the contrary, true charisma grows with multipliers. A candle doesn't go out by lighting 1,000 candles. Your factory is ready. The raw materials are inside you. The production line is waiting. The only question remaining is, will you run it? Because tomorrow you'll walk into a meeting, you'll sit in a cafe, you'll walk down a street, and in those moments, you'll make a choice to be invisible or visible. Charisma is hidden in that choice, and the choice is yours. The factory is running. Begin production.